This is an image of the rover Perseverance slung beneath the descent stage, its propulsion backpack, as it is being lowered to the surface of Mars. You can see the dust kicked up by the rover's engines. We're probably about 2 meters or so above the surface of Mars. We're still checking the timing of this image. It's just hot off the presses. You can see the mechanical bridles that hold the rover underneath the descent stage as 3 straight lines heading down to the top deck. And then the curly electrical umbilical that is taking all of the electrical signals from the descent stage down to the computer inside the belly of the rover. In fact, the ones and zeros that represent this image will travel down that umbilical before it is cut and the rover is left safe on the surface of Mars. So there are these fantastic images that we've had a chance to take and are still getting down from the surface, taken by a set of EDL cameras, taken by other spacecraft. And we will hopefully be able to see them in the days coming. But some more of those beautiful images are going to be shared with you today, the ones we have in hand, and I turn it over to Deputy Phase Lead Aaron Stohura to talk about some EDL imagery.
Thanks, Adam. As Adam said, an immense amount of time and effort went into gathering each of those images that you saw. Of course, the final one was gathered yesterday as we were nearly finished with our entry, descent, and landing down to the surface of Mars. Another image that was captured midway through our journey down to the surface is what you're seeing on your screen right now. This image was acquired by the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, one of our orbiters that's orbiting around Mars. You can see here in the zoomed in part of the image in the upper right, our spacecraft with a fully inflated parachute and hanging underneath it our protective entry capsule. Like Adam said with the descent stage, or the descent stage downlook image, we're still figuring out the exact timing of when this image was taken as well. So it's even possible that we had already come out of the protective entry capsule and we're coming down on rockets to the surface, but we haven't quite analyzed this enough to figure that out. If you look just below to the little circle that you see on the screen, this was our eventual touchdown point. You can see it's near the delta that we've talked about that's so interesting to the scientists, and we'll get some updates on that coming up here. But just to give you an idea of all of the things that had to go correctly for us to make it to this point, at the point that that image was acquired, we had already undergone entry into the Martian atmosphere right on time, traveling at 5.3 kilometers per second. We already had undergone the searing heat of entry and pulled somewhere around 11 Gs of force as we decelerated quickly while entering the atmosphere. And we had steered our path through the atmosphere of Mars using thrusters and lift from our vehicle so that we could zero in on our eventual target here in Jezero Crater. So speaking of our target in Jezero Crater, I have another image to share with folks, if we could put that up. This was an image captured by our rear hazard avoidance camera. So this is looking backwards from the Perseverance rover's perspective. When I look at this image, first of all, I feel a great sense of relief. And second of all, I see a landing site that looks relatively safe, free of boulders, free of cliffs, free of great slopes. And that's what we spent a lot of time and effort, making sure that we identified those spots on Mars so that we could safely set the rover down in what we considered the best possible spot. One of the other things that is possible that we could get here is as we continue to get more higher resolution imagery down. This is just a thumbnail that we're looking at. We might even be able to see bits of the delta in the distance. It's possible, although yet we're not sure, if we captured the descent stage, our rocket-powered jetpack, perhaps even impacting the ground.